Oh, I made a video talking about the Aunt Jemima and the coconut pork chop. The African American Hispanic women that I think that Barbecue Becky and Ice and Darren Wilson and all those white supremacists who don't like minorities should do both of this as they treated me at CVS yesterday. I want you to understand that ignorant dumb people who claim to be Christian never bothered to read these verses. Now I know I'm not acting Christ-like, and like I say, I prefer God to correct me. Okay, was it in Romans 10 or 9 that Saint Paul read from the book of Isaiah, right? Yeah. Well, it says, "I find by those who seek me, find by those who didn't seek me, those who didn't ask me." So it's saying that God alone can reach out to a person. Don't need a dumb, eating trash human being. Now, I'm going to tell you the reason why I hate to be corrected. I was abused. And people twist the Bible like St. Peter warned people in 3rd chapter of his 2nd letter in the 15 to 17 verse. That if he was supposed to control destruction, therefore be on guard. That's why when someone tries to quote the Bible, I'm always on guard because I don't believe that interpretation. So they said correction. They think correction is being harsh, mean. And it's a couple times Jesus told his apostles not to act like that because the scribes and Pharisees act like that. They were acting gay. And also the king and Gentiles and the benefactors. So when I see someone be rude to me, and you read from 2nd Timothy chapter 24, 22, 24, 26, that a steward, a slave of the Lord correcting kindness. I'm not correcting in kind behavior. I know I'm not talking to a person who's doing it for godly reasons. They're doing it for gratification. They're lying. Well, that's my zodiac sign line, but they're a wolf, just looking to slaughter a lamb. Okay, so and then also in Proverbs 9:7-9 tells you not to correct a scoffer or arrogant person. And yesterday they got dealt with the scoffer because I never stole anything from a CVS or anything else. I'm not a thief. My record's clean. Ain't thought by man's make. Now, of course, there's man's tradition that Jesus condemned, and also a sacred tradition that is the Jesus. Jesus is God. Don't get me wrong, but Saint Paul told the Thessalonians to hold fast traditions. So, because I notice I'm an ex-Protestant, I'm a Catholic, and I know Protestants who make their own interpretation of the Bible. That's why you have different denominations, and they're not a unity of belief that Jesus wanted. Okay, they follow men, as Saint Paul said in Corinthians, because each church made by Protestant people. Each in Protestant was made by men's interpretation of the Bible, starting with Martin Luther in the 1500s. Then you had John Smith with the Y, not with the I, made the Baptist Church my formal faith. Okay, and Wesley, I think Charles Wesley made the Methodist Church. Charles, what's his name? Um, I forgot the person made the Joel. All these churches were made by men in the 1500s to now. Okay, they got the Bible, they read it and put their own personal thoughts. Okay, so they didn't listen to Mother Church. They didn't listen to Jesus' Bride. Okay, they wanted to go against Jesus' Bride because they didn't like things in it, and they make statements about the Catholic Church because what they have heard, what they don't know what they're about. So that's why I know as a Catholic that these people make their own interpretation about it because, well, Jesus gave Peter the keys, okay? From Matthew 16 and then 1 Peter 5:13, Peter went to Rome. The church here in Babylon, or she, Ecclesia, well, remember the church is feminine for she, is Christ's bride. Okay? We fast on the 40 days, which is the 40 days represent Jesus in the desert, the 40 days of Moses, during Lent from Ash Wednesday to Easter. When it says when the bridegroom leaves, they shall fast. Yeah, remember that somewhere in Matthew. Yeah, I forgot the verses of Matthew. Somewhere in Matthew. In the Gospel, and so that's why we fast. So, point is, so I know that those two heifers are not of the Lord, because if they, I don't care, they scream how much in church. Well, there are Protestants in the Catholic. They haven't read those verses that the slave or the servant of the Lord corrects in meekness, kindness, whatever translation you read. So when I was growing up, my family was abusive and aggressive, and they said they did it out of love. But the Bible says in Corinthians 1 Corinthians 13, I think 3 to 4 to 7, it says that love is not purchased rule over injury. I know I don't forgive my enemies because I did, and I still got screwed. I don't like to be screwed. I get treated like a doormat, and no one didn't act like the Psalm 82, 3 to 4, to rescue those who are defenseless. I had few times to rescue me, so I had to act ugly to keep a shield. I snitched on people. You think I want to live a life snitching on people? No. I would like to live a life peacefully where no one will do me wrong. So they thought by human tradition that Jesus condemned, because in second tradition, in Thessalonians, chapter 2, 24, 2, 14, 15, 2, 15, 14. Each time whole fast tradition, where we have second tradition in the Catholic Church. Was for traditions, second tradition in the Catholic Church, there will not be a Bible, okay? Remember the other books were not in the canonization of the Bible, aka Biblia in Greek. The miscalculation of books in Greek is because they did not fit the same tradition. Okay? So when you do the tradition, we'll see, you listen to a man named Luther who was against tradition and sola fide and sola scriptura, when actually that's a false interpretation of the Bible, and it is the Bible that defend sola scriptura and is a defend sola fide. Faith out of works is dead. Didn't St. James say that in chapter 2? Okay. So these women didn't have to probably think they're more Christ-like and holy and endowed and act like Pharisees and scribes, act like queens as a female or Gentiles, acting like benefactors that Jesus told his apostles not to act. The person wants to serve, the leader, whose leader has to serve, right? Not to serve the leader serves the people. Someone contacted me to vote for Mayor Turner. And I told a sister before I not trust Mayor Turner or Acevedo, the Hispanic police chief, because they're wicked, and I know they're wicked, and I know they're parents. And they do not know that 1 Corinthians chapter 4:2 says that stewards should be trustworthy. That's why these police officers shooting people. People trust the police based on the title, but not on the character. St. Paul told Timothy in First Timothy, chapter 3, about the elders, which is the presbyterials, means a priest or elder in presbyter in the Greek word, and the deacons and the bishops, and their character is important. That's why all these little people who are doing sexual scandals will be in the Protestant or the Catholic churches. The people trust the leader not on the title, not on their character. That's how I know it. When I left jobs, it's not that I was lazy. No, I have to work to eat. But when you have people who defend the leader, the person who's wolf in sheep clothing, secular version of it, I left because I'm bipolar and I might act ugly with them, and I don't want to act ugly with them. And I might do 10 times worse than I am a person who hates correction, because it says in the Bible in Proverbs 9:7-9, don't ever correct a scoffer. You earn insults, right? You're hurting yourself. I heard my grandma say, "You kidding me?" No, you kidding your own self. I hate to be corrected. I don't want to have to engage in your belief system. So see how these people just listen to somebody at a pulpit and not even go to the Bible and discern what they say. Test everything, how was good that Paul told Thessalonians, right? Okay. Those two heifers, I don't want to use the bitch word, because I'm talking about the Bible, have not read that if they're so much Christ-like, they would never dealt with me that way yesterday. And I hope they will, if they think they're holding down on me. Don't get me wrong. I know that my character does not lead to heaven. Remember, people, Lord, don't make you go to heaven in Matthew 7. Okay? People misinterpret John 3:16. When actually it say that they was talking about baptism of those who want to be born again. Not talking about him saying his name. Because Jesus himself said in Matthew 7, Lord, Lord, go to heaven because it's based on your character. People think that that's not working yourself to heaven. No, you don't earn your salvation, but you lose the grace of your salvation. That's what it means. Because salvation is grace. Okay? You know, and so therefore, and for example, someone say they need to stop smoking dope. They can pray to God, but they're not trying to stop smoking dope. It's not going to happen, right? So I think our works is dead. Hello? But they listen to men. They don't discern. They don't taste everything was good. It was good, excuse me. So when they acted that way to me yesterday when I was just looking for some St. John warts, I drank some chamole. It's just chamole. That's the chamole tea last night. That's why I'm not in a ugly mood, which is way better than the bipolar medication. But I wanted some St. John warts medication, herbs, and yeah, I still got some money now. I might go buy some today if I go to the store. So the herbals is way better than pharmaceutical trash. Anyway, so they have not read those verses. They're not of the Lord. They not. They was just being too demonic. And I try not to say the B word here. Y'all don't want to say demonic B-I-T-H, okay? They were looking for somebody. I guess they were looking for somebody to harass. And I bet people who are innocent of color go to that store and get treated like trash by those two heifers. I just wish that can happen here when they go to a white area, because no matter how bleaching her blonde hair, the white Hispanic woman, knowing she's underneath that dark roots of hers, or probably some gray hair, but had dark roots. There's some native and black Mexican woman in that roots, okay? Some black person and some Native American Mexican who was there before a Spaniard or an African came there in Mexico is the reason why she have dark roots. She didn't come have that blonde hair on her Spaniard white side. And the sister who just go along to get along, who knows she ain't no pure black woman, who have the worst hair weave that she had that night. Okay, yesterday, okay, evening, it was still daylight, right? About 6, before 6 p.m. Don't realize that that caramel complexion, is an admixture of a white, black, and American. That's like, I don't know about no West Night, I ain't dog, white West Nights, or like Akon, okay? But that weave, it did not come out her scalp. And it's the relaxer on her head ain't naturally straight. So we know, okay, so both of these have, and probably the Spanish woman probably pressed her hair with a flat iron, knowing that doggone, that's not her natural. If she probably have curly Pelocino, excuse me. Pelocino means curly hair in Mexican Spanish. We're not Chinese hair, and it's translate, but in Mexican Spanish, it's Pelocino. Okay, in regular Spanish, Castilian, whatever, it's Chinese hair. But in Mexico, they call it Pelocino. In South America, like in Venezuela, in Colombia, because I have people, and they say Pel Crespo, like the Puerto Rican singer. Elvis Crespo, sabe me te besame. Okay, thank you. So anyway, pelo chino, pelo crespo, and some kind of in Eurocentric they call it pelo malo, bad hair. She probably flat on the planchetta pelo real straight, but not that curl pattern probably came from the African side. Yes, but I'm very detailed. So both of these heifers don't look like the white women in the cover of those magazines, okay, that you have to campaign and protest and beg the white companies to put these two women on the cover. I suggest those two women at the store need a good makeover, both inside and out, before they even try to put them on a Maybelline commercial. Maybe it's Maybelline, yes, a blonde, Becky, white woman that's on it, not these two minority women. No matter how much their hair straightened, how much hair relaxer, how much weave, how much bleached blonde hair they try to act last night, okay? Last afternoon was here. Evening, because it's the daylight here in Houston, Texas. So, if they're more Christ-like, they would act like what St. Paul told Timothy. Okay? No, they didn't. They act like a bunch of demonic heifers. I'm trying not to use I'm trying not to curse here because I'm talking about the Bible, right? Okay. So we know that. Yeah, I pray for them to never have a job at that store. I pray for them to have an ad change, but I'm not gonna pray for them to change for me because I'm not God. I pray I'll never meet someone like that. And I always pray that every enemy that I met, including my own two parents, because they thought that love was pretty rude, and it's not. In Corinthians 13, it goes against that. You supposed in Colossians 3:1, the Bible tells you that fathers don't provoke your children to anger, you become discouraged. That's why many of us have bipolar disorder, like myself, type 1, to wish we can hurt a person and put them in the grave, because we don't want to experience that. The so-called laws, the so-called people in charge was complacent of those abuses. It was not acting like the Psalm 82, where it says those who are defenseless, and no, they don't act like that. They act like the was in Jeremiah, what about the people who rich, who's in unjust people? That's what they act like. That's what they act like. So why would I sit here and want to be corrected by people who are unjust? Do you see why I'm a scoffer? I know them by their fruit. If your fruit is dirty, don't correct me. That's why I prefer God. God's fruit always clean. Okay? God is not unjust. He does not correct unjustly. He does not show favoritism. There's no favors in him. So, and I know what my family did to me is they scandalized me. They thought their bad belief system, they thought they was pretending to be good, the disguise is good, will help me when actually it hurt me. And they crying, whining, see how someone wished they come see me. Well, I thought I gave you problems. I gave you problems. I ran away and never come back, and now you begging me to come visit you. That doesn't make any sense if I gave you problems, right? They don't act like the Luke 6:24-27. They're not merciful. And I know that God, and if people have told me God was going to punish me, it's funny because God, in the flesh, said God, it shows mercy to ungrateful and evil people. So if I'm an ungrateful, evil person, why are you blaspheming? Why are you saying cursing me? It is cursing when you say God going to punish. Because in the Bible, it tells you in Luke 27-37, Jesus said that if you condemn, you'll be condemned. So those who said it to me, like my grandmother, and yeah, you'll be condemned. And I'm going to tell her that she shut up. Because she knows she listened to what she wanted to hear from the pulpit. She didn't listen to actually the truth. She wanted her way and act like it was God's way. And my mother, who didn't raise me, who later on became so-called born again, because when I'm born again is the water and spirit of that 3rd chapter of John, meaning baptism, water and spirit, not just saying his name. If she was saying his name, I see why Jesus said, Lord, Lord, may go to hell, depart from you people, because she was very rude to her own mother, and she was rude to her kids. She was very abusive to my siblings. And sadly, some of them, I would not be shocked and practicing the same scandalization. So I see why Jesus didn't allow me. It said it in Jeremiah, I know you before you're born. God didn't allow both my dad and my mom to raise me. If you read the book of Matthew 10, where it says that I come to separate you from who you really your father. And trust me, I know that I need to work on myself, but I do love Jesus over my mother and father and brother and sister and grandma and grandma, whatever, and anyone else in the family, since they have bad, wicked ways and their stewardship is terrible. So do you see why that I don't listen to them? It's not because of the commandments, because if it's the commandments, they will be following God, not their own way. They follow their own way and they try to mock it as God, knowing that I'm not stupid and I read the word too and know that they're not following God, they're following their own demonic evil way that comes from the devil. So when someone acts like the devil to me and tries to correct me, I'll laugh because I know they're not of the man above. If there was a man above, their attitude would change, and actually they would never have an ugly attitude, an angelic attitude. They would be nice, kind. You would not have that Spanish one with that fake bleached blonde hair on her hair. Well, if it's her hair or not, it was not naturally like that when she was born, talking to me crazy. And the sister with the messed up weave talking to me crazy too. They have not met Barbecue Becky. They have not met Donald Trump. They have not met the Ku Klux Klan. They probably have, but it wasn't deep enough to the point they actually experienced racism and know they're not a full-blown white woman. I know I'm not a full-blown white man. Yes, all three of us are part white. And I say we're part white because genetically we have European bloodline. But when we look in the mirror every day, we don't look like the white people on the magazines that's at CVS. We don't look like the white people that own CVS or own any of those corporations that need minorities to work for them and treat minorities less human. And I'm not saying all of them, but many are guilty of that because they'll pay a white person more money than pay a Hispanic or African American person. So do you see why I don't get involved in the cotton picking and straw picking fights? Because I want wealth. Now, the reason why I want wealth, as a man, the reason why I don't date, I want to have the money to cherish my wife since I'm supposed to be a provider. I want my kids to have the best. I don't want them living in ghettos and living in shanty houses and living in the barrio either, or living under Section 8 housing, or either living food stamps. So that's why I don't go spread my seed every doggone place that some irresponsible men do. Because if you're a true man, you want to clown me, make me call me gay, whatever, you'll be the provider for your kids and your wife, and you wouldn't have different baby mamas to prove that you're a man. You will have a wife that you go home to have sex with, right? That you're faithful with. You'll be providing the head of the house. So half these men are not the head of the house. So they live with women, and these women are taking care of them, not the other way around. So who is the real man? If I laugh at these men who clown me gay because they don't even have their responsibility. Some, in my own case, didn't take care of me. You know who I'm talking about. Okay? Their parents took care of me. So how they a man? They weak. Mentally weak. It's not just those Africans. I'm talking about those Hispanic ones too. Okay? They too much. The provider a wife. Why they going underneath the Gold Coast somewhere and gonna sleep with another woman? That's not a real man. A real man stay to his wife. Real man take care of his kids. Real men do not abuse their children, and because they lack of a bad parent skills. And real women do not abuse their kids either. See, remember 40 years ago, I was going through a one night stand. While both my parents were born of the sexual revolution, and that's why you have illegitimate children out there, aka people born out of wedlock, people who born single parenting, will be with the father or the mom, whatever, because back in the day, people was doing immoral things. I laugh at people talk about who's gay, bisexual, and that's against God, but they forget that fornication is against God too. They forget sex out of marriage is against God because He wanted a man and a woman to be together under His matrimony, not out there having sex baby after baby and out there being irresponsible. And then when you have kids, you messed your life up and you abused your kids because you're mad at yourself, or you're mad at your baby mama, baby daddy. And I remember my grandfather, who was married to my grandmother, telling me The reason why my dad or my mom talked to me crazy because they met at each other. They wouldn't think about that when they was laying out having sex, right? And everybody bring this up because I'm dealing with this problem of their BS they put on me. That's their fault. They was out there having sex. I was a fourth child to my mother. She gave my grandmother, talking about her mother, excuse my language, hell. She was abusive to my own grandmother, her own mother. My grandmother was scared of her. My grandma will be 80 years old soon. When I turned 40, she turned 80. She had to deal with her daughter, her firstborn, when she got married to my grandfather on my side of the family that share his last name that I never met, who died in 80s, got killed in 86 in San Antonio, who I'm still trying to find more of his ancestry to know who I really am, not bother what the white racist man says, if you know what I mean. Because you let a white racist man determine you, you deal with the BS. Do you see why I identify with my multiracial background? Don't let your oppressor determine you. It's like a cow wants to be branded. And you know how cow on the farm hate to be branded, right? Thank you. You're a human being. You let a racist, demonic man determine your life. You deal with the BS to come along with it. You determine your own life. Because you know that man is not God. Do you understand that? Thank you. You're demanded to take your life. You let the devil run your life. You deal with the consequences of the devil's way. So, anyway, and it's not because he's white. It's the devil the man that chooses to be a devil. Thank you. It's different. So, I want my kids to know what they came from, because everybody you have accuracy in people, young people being dumb and stupid, and I'm saying all, because they don't know their roots. They don't know their heritage. They look to society to get advice, and look at their bad parenting from their parents, who didn't teach them any, who don't know where they come from, who say they don't care about where they come from, but they do care about the consequences, though, of living a lie, right? So they know they came from not just kings and queens, but they know actually the truth of their roots. The black, the white, the native, they probably would not be acting like thugs and hood rats. People look to stereotypes for advice since they don't know where they come from. And it happens within the African community because you had Latinos, African people back in the 90s who came from broken homes, broken stewardships, who went to the media, went to the barrio, went to the hood, and saw Pookie and Ray Ray and Crazy Jose and Crazy Local Carlos acting a fool. Okay? And they saw them making money, but they did not know those people. They looked at the hood in the barrio was going in out of jail and losing money and gaining money and going back and killing folks. And then folks were trying to kill them for what they did to the other person. And here, okay, acting like a food chain in the jungle, right? You know, the rabbit eats the grass, the snake eats the rabbit, and then we have the eagle eating the rabbit. And then 9 10, the eagle might be attacked by other birds or whatever, or probably in a storm get struck by lightning. Right? Food chain in the jungle. Point is, that's the whole reason why. So point is that it's good to know where you come from. Well, you're talking to a woman who didn't even finish school. Talking about my mother. So that's why my grandparents paid for her education. She told me it was too loud in the classroom. Too quiet in the classroom. But she had 4 children, actually 3 to take care of, because my grandparents raised me. We were very open because it's the reason why I'm going through this BS I never asked. That's why I air my dirty laundry, because I didn't ask for this curse. Didn't ask for it. So when once it takes it, it's my business. It's because I deal with the result of something I never asked to go through. As if they children asked to be here. So, well, it makes sense why they get abused by the system and abused by the parents. Because some of these people make babies to get child support, big babies to try to trap somebody. That's what happened to my dad. Make babies to what? To get a next income tax check. It was not meant for love. They're supposed to come together with the opposite sex. and then get married and then have a child. That's what God wanted. So don't get mad at me for you not doing God's way. Get mad at yourself because you're irresponsible adults. Point is, that's why I don't make babies out of wedlock. You know, because I want my children to have the best in life. I want me, the father, and a stable father, not abusive one. That's why I don't never want to hit my kids. Because I'm sorry, when you hit your kids, it makes you want to kill that person. To those who want to hit you, I'm sorry, it's revenge. Like, I want that person head. And these people was brainwashed and never discerned what they was told. That's why. But I'm glad I did. But St. Paul told us to test everything and hope was good. So do you understand why that I like to be corrected? When the person does not know what correction is about, you're supposed to correct in kindness, and the person does not want correction, you don't correct that person. They learn in experience, coming from God, what it is. And that's why I prefer God to show me right and wrong. Because he did say, I come for those who seek me, didn't seek me, those who answer me, in both in Isaiah and also in Romans, when St. Paul was talking to the Romans when he went to Rome. Okay? So I don't understand how people think they little stupid human trashy behind, or flesh and bone, is sometimes some God, and they don't act like God. They're not God, and they're not acting God like when they act rude and evil, because God is merciful to the unkind and wicked people, that even Jesus said in Luke 6:24-27, or 37, excuse me. So when I see the Bible, when I see these people's actions, I know they're not of the fruit of what God said he will plant. They're just going by hearsay, and they think they're doing the best they can when they're not. They're doing the worst. Okay? That's why some people cry when I snitch, because they know they was already guilty before they even met me.